Let me see if I can get some shade going. Okay. Hey guys, what's up? So, I was asking my neighbors if they owned a bow and arrow and if they let their kids shoot it from time to time. I was just trying to figure out who shot at my property and why. And I kind of had a small suspicion that it was our new neighbors that are actually renting from our other neighbors, because they have boys, they're rowdy, and so I had went up to their house and I knocked on the door, and one of their many kids answered it, and it was a boy. And I asked him, do you guys own a bow and arrow? And I was like, I pulled out the picture and I said, do you recognize this arrow? And as soon as I showed him the picture, the kid became pale white, shaky. And I said, do your parents let you play with this bow that you have from time to time? And he goes, yes. And I said, do you know if any one of you guys shot it at my property? I'm not mad, but I really want to know who did it and why, because I want to make sure that this never happens again, because I don't feel comfortable having my life or my husband's life or my dog's life at risk for somebody not knowing where to shoot their bow and arrow. And the kid was like, oh, my parents aren't home, I can't really talk about this. I'll let them know when they get home and they can talk to you. I'm like, okay. But the kid looked like he was about to faint. I mean, he was pale as ghost white. I mean, as this toothpaste cap, that's how white that kid got. And I'm like, okay, this kid did it. He doesn't want to admit it. And I left his property, and I was actually like going down the road before I got to off of the dirt road that we live on. I ran into his mom and I flagged his mom down, and I said, hey, so I heard you guys have a bow and arrow, and I heard you guys let your kids play with the bow and arrow. Do you recognize this arrow? And she goes, I don't have a freaking bow and arrow. I don't allow that crap. And I'm like, ma'am, I'm literally just trying to get to the bottom of what happened. And she goes, well, I don't even know why you're asking me. We're too busy with our friggin' animal stuff, because they own like a animal safari thing. I don't want to give the name because I don't want to like cause too many problems with that. But I felt lied to. I felt betrayed. And I understand. You got, like, parents, you have an instinct to want to stick up and protect your children. And I had let the child know that I would not be pressing charges. And the kid felt a little bit relieved, but still a little bit nervous. But when I had asked the mom, she flat out said, before I could even mention anything about charges or whatever, she flat out came at me and said, even if you know who did it, it's not like you can press charges anyways, because you can't prove who did it. And I'm like, ma'am, I don't want to press charges. I just want to get to the bottom of who did this, and I am trying to find out by asking the neighbors. And so far, I feel like I'm being lied to, because your son said you have a bow and arrow, and you're telling me you don't have anything like that. So something is going on. She's like, we don't have it. My kid's a flat out liar. Like, she was really putting her kid down. And I'm like, honestly, from the way the boy acted, I could tell he wasn't lying, but I could tell that he was trying to cover something up. He was caught, and I could tell that he was embarrassed about it, and he didn't want to own up to being caught. And the mom became violent. The mom became angry. The mom was starting to shake. Like, she was sitting there going, and I'm like, ma'am, I just want to get to the bottom of it, because I do not like knowing that my family was put in danger. Like, I am not accusing anybody. I am just trying to get to the bottom of it. And I am going to be asking other neighbors to see if they know somebody who might have come onto my property, because if it's a poacher, we need to get to the bottom of it, because not only could they do this to my property, but they could do it to somebody else's property, because we are surrounded by woods. And if it's a poacher, I want to catch the poacher. Or if it's somebody just being stupid, or if it's a kid, we need to address these issues. And like, she became heated and boiling, and she wanted to get away from me as fast as possible. And I'm like, wow, I don't want to jump to any conclusions or anything, but I feel like my neighbors did it, and they're trying to cover it up to save their son's butt. I don't appreciate it. I really hate being lied to. Especially when I am just trying to get answers. Because my family could have been at risk. And that's not okay. That's not cool. And so now I don't even trust my neighbors, because I know I was lied to. And I feel like I don't have to look anymore to figure out who did it, because they did it. Like, by the way they acted, I can almost come with almost like I can't say 100%, but I'm 99.9% sure that a kid did it, and the parents are covering it up, and that's why they acted the way they did. Now, there is that one person that I'm leaving up that somebody else could have did it, or, I could be wrong about the situation. But whoever did it, it makes me mad. Like, I'm not a happy person about it. I was trying to keep it to where I didn't have to go to the cops, but I do know that we can go to the cops and pull fingerprints. But I really don't want to do that. I just want the truth. And it's sad that your neighbors who you thought could be trustworthy are lying to you. And I know that the enemy is using my neighbors to come against me. And I did tell this to my husband. I explained to him what was going on in the situation. That, hey, the kids told me this, and the mom told me this, and they acted this way. So I can almost say with almost 100% certainty, like, I've dealt with people that have lied to me, and come to find out, like, the people who I thought actually did it because of the way they acted. But who really wants to own up to, shooting at a house? Because that can have some serious consequences. And honestly, if I don't get answers, I might have to go to the police if it means keeping my family safe. It's something I don't want to do, but if I have to, I will. I just wish whoever it was would own up. But I don't know. It just makes me really irritated. I'm ready for the rapture to happen. I'm ready to get out of here. Because I can't stand this world anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. I just want to go home. I want to go to my heavenly home. I'm in this world, but I'm not of this world. This is my temporary home. My real home is with Jesus Christ. And that's where I want to go, and that's where I want to be. But if you guys could you pray that whoever shot that bow and arrow at my house will feel convicted and come forward and actually tell me the truth without lying. Because I just want the truth. And prayer can move mountains. So if you guys could you pray? Please. Alright, guys, I gotta get off here because I've got to run some errands. But hope you guys have a great day. Bye, y'all.